Hello folks, Junkie Rock 13 here, everything vaping related, Junkie Rock 13. My real name is Ross Sanders, and today I am bringing you a look at the BO-8 Rebuildable Atomizer Tank from VaporAlley. Now VaporAlley sent this to me for review purposes. We're going to take a close look at it and see what I think about it. Let's get right to it. Okay, so here we go. This is the close-up of the BO-8. Now the tubes are plastic, okay? They're like a polycarbonate or some kind of plastic material. So they might be prone to cracking with certain types of juices. This is the top section, and this is the bottom section. Now this bottom section can hold up to 4 milliliters of e-liquid. And this is the standard top cap. It just basically looks like a cartomizer top cap. O-ring right there, 510 drip tip connection, so your standard 510 drip tips will fit into there. Okay, actually I could leave that in there. Alright, and your rebuildable section has 2 posts, your negative and your positive. Now your screws on here are a flat screwdriver could be used in here. Okay, we have 2 wick holes right here and right here. You can actually run a U-wick or a silica wick. Now it comes pre-set up with a silica wick. Here is your fill hole for a syringe or a needle bottle top, syringe bottle top. Your airflow will come from the center tube right here that runs through the device and comes out the bottom of your 510 connection. Now it is a 510 connection here. There is no air channels. So if you have a device that sits flat, you will be restricted for air. So make sure that whatever device this is on, that it will need air channels in the device. Now if you notice up here, okay, let me just show you right here like this. Notice right here, there's that little white wire. Now that little white wire is actually soldered right in here to these springs on the positive post. Now that is the connection to your positive center post down here. Runs up, and this is a insulated from the negative, which is the base right here, which is your ground. It is insulated with this white rubber or silicone insulator, and your positive is actually soldered to this post right in here. Now I haven't had no issues with the solder coming apart. And it seems like it's working pretty decent. It's not had no issues with the build quality. Now there is a spring loaded in here. If you can notice I'm pushing it down right there. Okay, and both of them do have that on side. Negative and positive both have that. So you don't have to tighten the screw down onto it. You can wrap your wire around there and just trap it underneath this little washer underneath the screw. So there are 3 O-rings down on the bottom, 1 in here for the bottom tank tube, and 1 on top right here, and then there's a separate O-ring in the top cap. Okay, now we are going to set up the device with a piece of 3mm silica and a piece of 32 gauge Kanthal. Now this is probably around 4 or 5 inches, and the silica is around 4 inches. So let me push this out to the side, and I'm just going to wrap this coil up here. I'm just going to leave a nice lead off of the silica. I'm going to hold it with 2 fingers, the Kanthal and the silica, and then I'm just going to take the Kanthal and wrap it around the silica. Now I'm going to wrap it around 4 times, moving it down as we wrap. Okay, let me see how many wraps I did. I actually did 5. I don't want to do that many. Now you don't want to wrap this too tight, and you want to keep it spaced out. Actually, I'm going to rewrap that because I wrapped them right on top of each other. So there is times where even I make mistakes, and it seems like I don't like doing it on camera, but it happens. Alright, so we're going to try that one more time. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there we go. Now I'll move this one over just a little bit, and there is what the coil looks like. Okay, they're nice and spaced out evenly. Now put this in the device. Now you'll notice that I left one end coming off one side and one end coming off the other. Okay. Now I'm going to take my silica and stick one end into that wick hole right there, and I am going to come over here and trap this right underneath that washer and in between that screw, and just wrap it around one time. Okay, straighten that out, pull it down. See, I like leaving the tube off so I can end up pulling that down. Okay, now for the other end, I'm going to take the silica again and make sure the end is not frayed out, and stick it down that wick hole. Okay, and then the canthal lead over here, I'm just going to take and trap it underneath that screw and wrap it around one time. Okay, come on. Oh, it didn't go all the way around. Let me just get my dental tool. There we go. Now you notice that it's not even here, so now I will straighten it out. And pull down the ends. Okay. So there you go. Then what I would do is just take a pair of scissors and trim off any excess silica and canthal. Show you how that looks on top. Okay, now I'm just going to grab my Z-Max, bring it in here, screw it on there, and then we're going to test the resistance. Okay, so we got 1.7, 1.6. Let me darken that up so you can see that. Okay, 1.6. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I have some lemon chiffon from the Plume Room already loaded into a syringe. I'm just going to put a drop right here on this O-ring, a drop on that O-ring, and then I'll just put just a drop in there. And just rub it around a little bit. Rub it around that O-ring. Okay. And slide this tube right down, oops, to the base. Okay. And then I will take my syringe, take it off the device to show you how to fill it. Okay. Take the syringe, stick it into the fill hole, and give it a squeeze. Okay, I didn't fill it all the way up, but I am going to take the little bit that I have in the syringe and just put it on the wick and coil up here, so we can have the wicking process. Get a little jump start and then take the rest and shoot it right in there. Okay, so there we go. Take it and put it back on the Z-Max, give it a little quick fire, and see how it looks. Okay, we got vapor. Okay, now just going to take this other O-ring, and slide it on to that section right there. tube, the top tank tube will go into the top cap, and that will just push right down onto there. And there is the BO-8 fully wick and coiled and filled and ready to vape. See how it vapes and see what I think about it. Okay, so there you go. There is the close-up of the BO-8 Rebuildable Tank Atomizer. Like I said, this was sent to me from VaporAlley. I've had this for a few weeks, and I've been enjoying it for a rather inexpensive silica rebuildable tank atomizer. Now, there are similar devices like this on the market. There is one that's in Greece. I can't remember the name of it, but there's one here called the RA Tank by Crack. I have never used one, but the design is similar, with a separate section up top for the wick and coil, and the two silica pieces coming down into the juice section of the tank. Now, I've had no problems with juice cracking the plastic, but just be aware that plastic tanks are susceptible to juice cracking tanks. I have this coil set, it's at 1.5, and I have my Z-Max set at 9.5 watts. So let's give it a vape. Now, similar to devices like your Clearamizers and your VV Nova, you're using basically a silica, and it's coming down into the juice, and there's a coil wrapped around it. So all in all purposes, it is basically similar to the VV Nova. But in my opinion, this works better than the VV Nova. It wicks good with the 3mm silica. Now, I have used the 3.5mm, and in my experiences, I have noticed that it wicks better with the 3mm. It just gives it more airflow. My dog is coming out. It gives it more airflow with the wick holes, and the juice wicks up to the coil a lot better. I usually don't get no dry hits. If any dry hits occur, I just give it a little tip, and it usually takes care of that. But this is not a dry hit device. It's been vaping rather well. I'm really impressed with it. It's only a $12.99 rebuildable tank. Like I said, I have not used it with a U-wick, but you can use a U-wick in this system. Actually, the Smoke R tank does have a similar setup to this too. I do have one of those, and I will be doing a video on one of those also in the near future. But this BO-8, I'm enjoying it. I don't know how long it's gonna last. That solder, the positive wire coming out to the positive post, I haven't had no issues with it. Hoping that don't break or anything. But it's been working pretty good for me. That's the BO-8. Let me give it one more vape, and we'll call it quits. One more thing. you are getting your airflow from the bottom of the device, like I mentioned in the close-up. So if you are using this on a device that sits flush onto the bottom and it does not allow any airflow into it, you're going to get a tight draw or no draw whatsoever. On the Z-Max, it's been working fine. Looks okay. I like it. That's the BO-8 from VaporAlley. I'll leave a link in the description down below so where you can check them out. And please make sure you subscribe down below, comment on the video, let me know what you think. Be kind to one another and keep on vaping, everybody. Take care.